Hi, welcome back to GDIB. I hope you guys are doing well. As you can see, I'm in different attire today. That's just because I got home from the salt mines, and me and the lovely Mrs. Peel, we're going out in town tonight. That's right, I'm spending some money on her. Actually, we're going to a great restaurant. The restaurant's name is Tio Pepe. And Tio Pepe is an establishment in Baltimore. It's been around for probably 50 years, and I've never had a bad meal there. But the really neat thing about Tio Pepe's is you feel special there. And I really don't know how they do it, but what I do know is you can sit down at the table and you're just wasting your time looking at the menu. The menu's got all kinds of stuff in it, but all you gotta do is tell the waiter what you feel like eating that night. I feel like some chicken, I feel like some lobster, I feel like some lobster and chicken. And they'll whip you up a dish that you'll never forget. And they've got a champagne sauce there that, well, as a friend of mine would say, Uchi Mama, best champagne sauce ever. So me and Mrs. Peel, Tio Pepe's tonight, looking forward to it. But I had an episode in me, and I just have to get it out. I have to get it out. I was on the computer the other day doing, the email stuff and sending out quotes and trying to write orders and things like that. And all of a sudden I get this pop-up. And what this pop-up is some guy's got this teaching system that he guarantees is going to help you guys out. So I guess I opened it up and I went to his site, or I went to the next step in the pop-up, and what it said, it was amazing. It was amazing. This system, this gentleman, this teacher, has identified your 10 biggest mistakes. Your 10 biggest mistakes. That's it. What more do you need than that? We've got your 10 mistakes narrowed down, and we're going to tell you how to fix them. Well, I didn't have to go any further, because I already know what the number one mistake is. Number one mistake is you don't want to be counting to 10. Take my word for it. Forget the 10 mistakes. Number one mistake, don't count your 10 mistakes. A good book recently found me. And it's a book written by Michael Pollan. And the title of the book is called In Defense of Food. And I think this book found me via Bill Maher's show on HBO. I'm not politically inclined to agree with Bill Maher, but I do like watching his show because he has the balls to ask the tough questions. And usually, when he starts trying to be funny, he turns me off. But when he's trying to be serious, he turns me on because he's willing to ask that tough question. Well, anyway, he was talking about food, which led me to the name Michael Pollan, which led me to the book In Defense of Food. Now, one of the sections in this book talks about nutritionists or scientists and what they do to food. And what they do to food is they want to try to find the secret to food. So let's take, the apple, okay? Garden of Eden, the apple, the snake, the whole thing. They take the apple. And what they try to do is they try to find out what makes that apple so good. So they start doing tests on the apple, and they got vitamin C. Holy shit, stop the presses. We found vitamin C in that apple. Let's just start selling vitamin C. And of course, people market vitamin C. And in fact, I'm sure it was like 5 or 10 years ago, vitamin C was the wonder drug until people started ODing on it. Okay, well, that didn't work. Well, then they go back to the apple and say, well, vitamin C wasn't the answer. Let's see, we got vitamin B12 in there. That's got to be it. Okay, we're going to market vitamin B12. Well, that didn't work either. Well, maybe we can market a pill that's vitamin B12 and vitamin C, and let's see if that works. Well, that doesn't work either. And these nutritionists and scientists, because they got to do something, they got to earn their pay, they keep breaking down the apple and trying to look for the ingredients of the apple. What they find out is they can't isolate anything that really does for you what the apple does for you. So basically, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. We'll never know what makes that apple so special. And the more we try to break it down, the less we're really going to know about what does make that apple so special. Which gets me back to Tio Pepe's. They really make you feel special. I can't wait for tonight. Whew. They've got an appetizer, garlic shrimp. and this is a really nice restaurant, maybe a 4.5-star restaurant, and I'll go in there, and when that garlic shrimp, when the shrimp is all gone, I'll pick that bowl up and I'll just drink the garlic sauce. I know, and you don't like that, but I'll tell you what, I can't get past it. Uchi mama. Okay, back to golf and the 10 mistakes. You don't want to go to 10 mistakes. You know, when I was about 13 or 14 years old, my Uncle Johnny, God bless him, Uncle Johnny, he knew I loved golf, and he was a golfer. Ooh, he was into golf, and he was a disciplinarian too. He gave me my first true golf lessons, and I think I still got some of the bruises on my knuckles. Don't hold the club like that. He gave me his collection of golf magazines, Golf Digest magazines, stuff like that. And I would study the pictures. And I think one of the downfalls I had in my trying to learn what the golf swing was all about, and I know I'm not supposed to use that word, was when Golf Digest started coming out with those centerfolds, okay? And the centerfolds were of, certain pros swinging. And you had this position, and you had that position and that position, and they had it from 3 different camera angles, and you're watching this stuff. And man, I'll tell you what, I tried to get in those positions, and I could get in those positions. The only problem was when it comes to hitting the golf ball, you can't slow your brain down enough to get in those positions and still hit the ball. See, the key is in doing something not to slow your brain down. Your brain wants to go as fast as you'll let it go. And when you try to pull back on those gears of that brain, it doesn't want to do that. It gets confused, and you just trip over your own feet. That's why you don't think about how you walk. That's why you don't think about how you drive a car, because it could be dangerous to your health. So anyway, seeing those pictures all the time, I think that really had an effect on me, and it wasn't a good effect. I'm not blaming the magazines because I really, truly enjoyed it. I mean, I can remember the first time I saw a picture of Davis Love, and he was swinging a driver, and his thing was so wide that you had to undo another page just to get the whole club in. And when he was young, he would have an angle coming into the ball like this. It was unbelievable how much angle he had. Now, I think he's actually gotten rid of some of that angle, but in that stop action thing, it was amazing. Freddie Couples was another one. Looking at Freddie Couples in stop action, I already told you, I tried to swing like Freddie Couples for about 5 or 6 years, and that was a killer too. Freddie Couples actually came out with a book after he won the Masters, and if you read that book, about as mechanical as Freddie Couples gets is he says, just get your hands up nice and high. In fact, Freddie will warn you, don't try to connect the dots or connect the X's or cross the T's and dot the I's. Don't do that. And Freddie's telling you not to do that. If you watch Freddie Couples, all Freddie Couples does is he takes the bat back, waits for the fastball, and then hits it. He's playing baseball up there. And I believe Freddie Couples' dad was a minor league baseball player, and you can see baseball and how Freddie Couples hits the ball. I have shared with you a lot of AJ-isms, okay? And this is not one of them, but it's a story about AJ and what he teaches or what he tries to educate people on. I have gone through several different copies of AJ's DVD set. And the reason I go through several different copies of them is because I keep giving them out and I never really get them back. I don't know what that's all about, but a bunch of Indian givers out there, because I give them out, I don't get them back. And a lot of the people I give these DVDs to, they'll come back with one remark. And it's an amazing remark. In fact, I had one very, very intelligent guy come back to me, and he said, yeah, Dan, thanks a lot for the DVD. Oh, by the way, I'm not giving it back to you because I gave it to somebody else, but it's really too simplistic. It's too simplistic. He didn't show me anything. Too simplistic. It can't be right. I need something more complicated. Interesting. And a lot of people I've given that DVD set to have come back with the same thing. It can't be that simple. Well, about 1.5 years ago, I went out to visit Muhammad, a.k.a. AJ, and he was doing a school at that time. I think he had 3 guys in the school. And I went up to the range, and he introduced me to the people, and I think he built me up a little bit too much because the people actually thought I knew what I was talking about. And AJ went on to do his school. And profile, one guy, early 40s, athletic build, 5'10", 160, 70 pounds, and you know, could move the club. You know, he could hold it and he could move it. Guy in the middle, older guy. I want to put him around 65, maybe even older, but he was bulky, strong. You know, looked like a longshoreman or a bricklayer or something like that. You know, he just had a certain raw-boned energy to him, and what he would do, he would just put his hands on a club and just move it. Third guy was an ex-NBA player, and the third guy could hit the ball better than the first two guys combined, okay? AJ gave his sort of group talk to the guys, and they broke up and started hitting balls on their own. And AJ, just being one person, he could only be with one person at a time. And AJ is not the type of instructor to talk to two guys at a time, so he wanted his undivided attention on that guy. Well, after a while, the two guys that weren't being taught by AJ, they would look to me and they say, hey, what do you think about this, dude? What do you think about this? And I was very wary to get in that conversation because you don't want too many cooks in the kettle, you know what I'm saying? Well, the first guy, the just sort of regular looking Joe, early 40s, you know, with a, you know, he had a good hand-eye. He starts talking to me and he's trying to figure out how to hit the home run. And basically, the way AJ tells you how to hit the home run is just go like that. Just go like that. Get that club to go like that. Get that club to go like that. Boy, that's really easy to do, you know? That's easy to do. Here, let me see that. Nah, that's too simplistic. I don't want to go there. Too simple. Well, anyway, the first guy, he kind of motions me over and says, hey, dude, what do you think? I said, well, it looks pretty good. And he's hitting it halfway, okay? He's hitting it halfway. He's getting close to getting it, but he's hitting it halfway. And the thing about AJ's instruction is he tries to give you certain hints to help you figure it out. And that's another show. I don't believe anybody can teach you how to swing a golf club, but I can give you a lot of good hints on how to hit the ball. And that's what AJ does. He tries to give the same hint most of the time, but he wants to wrap it a little bit differently, so it's like a different hint, but it all comes down to hitting the ball. So this guy, he hadn't gotten a hint yet that really got him into it. And one of my best word pictures is ping pong. Think about that for a second, playing ping pong, you know? You've got this ball, really a tiny ball, you know? And that ball's got spin on it, and it's moving about, I don't know, 40 miles an hour. You know, and the table's only, what, 10 feet long tops, 12 feet long tops? And you got to get that ball, you got to depend on those proprioceptors. Those proprioceptors, Mr. Spock! Beam me up. And you got to find that ball in space. That's amazing. With a ping pong, you can do that. And I can remember, you know, usually you start playing ping pong like this, you know, boom, 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 or some people it's the backhand and they just sort of push it, push, push it, push. Well, I remember the first time I saw somebody hit a ping pong shot with topspin on it, whoosh, home run. I said, oh man, I got to be able to do that. And I practiced that, and sure enough, boom, I got it. And you know what? I didn't have to take any lessons. I did not have to take any lessons. So this guy's asking me he wants another hint on how to do this thing. So I say to him, I say, well, have you ever played ping pong? He says, played ping pong? I was the county champion of Los Angeles County when I was a teenager. And I said, what? Yeah, I've never heard of such a thing, but this guy was some sort of county or city champion. I said, well, you know how you hit that little topspin thing with the ping pong ball, and it's not a real tall shot, but it's just a shot that barely makes it over the net, and it hits the table and zooms past that guy, and you win the game? He said, yeah, I know. I said, well, hit the ball that way. And I think he was hitting 5-wood or something like that off the deck, or it might have been on a tee, I'm not sure, but he just stepped up there, you know, and he went like that. And he hit that topspin thing with the ping pong paddle, and boom! And he did it about 5 times, and he turned and he looked at me, and he said, you know, dude, that's really simplistic. Well, he didn't say exactly that, but it was pretty damn close. The second guy, the older guy, right? He's got He's got two big hands, you know, meaty hands, and he grabs the club and he goes with his driver. I say he goes with his driver, and all he can do is slice the ball. All he can do is slice the ball. And this guy's got money. And I know he's got money because he's got some really, really expensive clubs and are brand new, almost like prototypes. He's got this beautiful new tailor-made driver, and he gets up there and he's like this, and he slices the ball, slices the ball, slices the ball, one right after another, one right after another. Now, he doesn't turn around and talk to me, so I just keep my distance. And I go down here, and the ex-NBA player, he sees me. He said, hey, dude, come on over here. Come on over here. Now, this guy is a very, very athletic guy, probably about 6'8", hits the ball a freaking mile. But he wants to ask me if he's swaying. If he's swaying. He's killing the ball, but he's worried about his sway. And he keeps talking about his sway, then he starts talking about whether the club is laid off, and he's talking about this and talking about that, and the more he talks, the worse he gets. And I'll never forget what I said to him. I was standing, you know, I'm looking at his chest, you know. I said, well, listen, you know, let me put it to you this way. If I knew you any better, and if I could get a stepladder, I'd smack the shit out of you. That's how stupid it was. And the reason he couldn't get it was, it was too simplistic. He already knew how to hit the home run. That wasn't good enough. What he could have done was he could have stayed there all day long and just hit one home run after another and just be in God's green acre, you know, just having fun. But no, he was worried about a sway. Whatever. Now, the most interesting guy, though, was the guy in the middle. The older guy, you know, the raw bone guy, the rich guy. And he was hitting those little slices out there. You know, the guy who takes the club outside and comes over the top and leaves the club face open and just keeps hitting those slices out there. Just keeps hitting those slices out there. Now, I don't remember exactly what A.J. said to that guy. But he just kept motioning to the guy with his right hand. Let's just do that. Come on, Claude, let's just do that. Just do that. Just do that. And that's all and AJ would say, come on, just try to do that. And he would step back and watch this guy hit another 5 balls. Well, I'm telling you what. The guy kept slicing that ball, he kept slicing that ball, kept slicing that ball, and all of a sudden, one time, he did that, and the ball started to turn over right to left. And it was a thing of beauty. And I'm standing back here, and I know when I'm watching something special, just like I will tonight at Tio Pepe's. But this was so special, it was almost eerie. Eerie, I tell you, eerie. And the guy got another ball, he put it up on his tee, and he had his $500 driver. And AJ said, okay, Claude, that's it. And the guy took the club back, turned that thing over again with that right hand. And I watched this guy have so much fun for the next half hour, and he hit 50 straight balls just like that. The only difference was the balls kept going further. I'm telling you. And I'm not lying to you because I promise I won't lie to you. This old son of a bitch was hitting that ball 260, 265. And that ball just kept finding a better trajectory, one after another, and they kept turning over, they kept turning over, they kept turning over. Then one time, one turnover a little bit too much, and AJ said, well, you hit a little bit too early. Just take your time. And he found that timing, and boom, he just nailed it. He just nailed it. And I'll never forget what happened next. He just turned around at AJ, and he had this smile on his face. And when you see an old son of a gun, and they just smile like they know they just found something special, man, it's almost as good as that champagne sauce. Uchi mama. Giddy up.